Sue Bird is the greatest female basketball player of all time. She has just recently retired in 2022 and has shown just how big her impact was not only on basketball but on the many people that sports reach out to. Sue Bird is amazing not only due to the insanely large list of accolades on the stats page, but more importantly, the impact she has left to elevate the sport of basketball on the women's self. So you might be asking yourself, who is Sue Bird? Sue Bird is a guard who was drafted in the 2002 WNBA in the first round and at the first pick. She was selected by the Seattle Storm, where she would become a franchise player and stay the entirety of her 19-year career. Before getting drafted, she took her skills to the University of Connecticut. Here, she would become a two-time national champion in the years 2000 and 2002. Taking us back to Bird's professional days, she helped lead the Storm to winning the WNBA championship 4 times. She became the all-time assist leader, all-time career stats leader, the most winningest player with 333 games won. She played a grand total of 550 games, and throughout the plus 500 games, she became a 5-time Olympic champion, 4-time FIBA World Champion, and 2002 Sportswoman of the Year, and finally, 13-time All-Star. This is just a small portion of what she has accomplished. The thing that really sets her apart from other players in the league was her image, the Golden Girl. She was the face of the league and continues to have a very noticeable impact from comparisons to today's youngest rookies to the oldest veterans that she has played with worldwide. Her impact has been immense and deep within the league. Although she seemed to be performing at the highest level and at her very best, she has had to deal with harsh media coverage throughout her career. Early on in her career, there was huge pressure to be the idealized female athlete, meaning pretty, straight, seductive, and a moneymaker for the league. As a young professional athlete, there is nothing they want more than for the sport they have poured endless amounts of effort and time into to give back to them in some other way. Whether that be salaries, supporters, and sponsorship, what she learned from that is that authenticity is what grows the game. Much later into her career, she begins breaking these previously created stereotypes about being the perfect athlete. She begins experimenting with her tunnel outfits, starting with her shoe game, then into the rest of her clothing. At the same
But I think early in my career, probably most of my 20s, to be honest, I was still figuring that out. Like I was figuring out who I was. I didn't really have that confidence. And I think you can see it. I mean, we can joke about it now. You can see it in what I wore. It was a lot of uncertainty.
Side by side, she begins scoring more buckets as opposed to being a setup or assist type player. She becomes a game point winner player instead. For this outcoming of herself, she likes to thank her now wife, Megan Rapinoe. She officially came out to the media as gay in 2017 and per ESPNW from the Bleacher Report. Now, it may not seem like coming out is a big deal if you're a professional, but if your image is your brand, it is. If someone likes you as an athlete, that's fine to some, but being gay is where they draw the line. Some may think that very loud character and has a huge presence in the women's soccer world, being on the United States of America's national women's team. Sue outwardly shares that she has all thanks to give to Megan for bringing out her own personality. Now, Sue Bird has had an impressive and massive impact on women's sports. Attendance records rise indefinitely for the Seattle Storm after 2002, the year Bird was drafted into the league. What took me by surprise is that the average attendance throughout the league has not significantly changed since the league began.
I think the one thing that stands out the most is it's the makeup of our league. It's the differences in our league and what each of us represents. I don't know the exact percentages, but obviously it's a majority Black. It's a high percentage of LGBTQ members. Obviously it's a women's league. So these are just areas in our society that are oppressed. And I think, when you put together a group of people that have all those different experiences in like quote unquote one room, you're gonna have a common ground of what it's like to fight. And now you're putting us all together. And oh, by the way, we're exceptional basketball players. And oh, by the way, what that gives us is a huge platform.
She has openly expressed how the league is a representation of oppressed groups of people in our society. The WNBA highlights and gives them a spotlight where their voices and faces have an opinion and their opportunity to share their thoughts and experiences, thus creating change. The WNBA as a whole has worked tirelessly to work hand in hand with the Players Association, with the most noticeable being the Black Lives Matter movement, and very loudly and proudly supporting LGBTQ rights and people. The league and players have also fought tremendously hard for equal pay. This is an insanely difficult task because the only way that the WNBA can increase the players' salary is through media coverage and rights. Here it is shown that the annual average salary cap, which in short is the budget for the overall collection of salaries throughout the entire team. The ESPNW, a social media account that has a sister network with ESPN, mainly focuses on the WNBA and shares daily information on news going on in the league. With this, it helps get people's attention and recognizes that there's a women's league that they can pay for people to play and is actually very fun to watch. Now, after we have collected a better understanding of Sue Bird, her career, and her journey to getting where she is today, I hope we can all start to appreciate just how much she has moved this sport. Now, don't forget to remember to like and